Hey everyone, just want to go over a few things, a quick update, maybe answer some questions you may or may not have had. And the first of these is some people have been asking if I'm planning to do any more Victoria 2 campaigns. And as far as plans go, the answer to that right now is no. And we tried actually, and the Filthy Casuals, to have a Victoria 2 campaign a little while back. That was the very short-lived Portugal series. And basically what happened was we got a group together, it was our first Victoria 2 campaign in a good while in the Filthy Casuals, so we got a group together. We played the first session. I thought it went reasonably well. And then people just disappeared. So some of the people who showed up were just never seen again. Others, I guess, lost interest. And basically when we tried to continue that campaign in the following weeks, we just couldn't get the numbers together, so we just kind of canceled it. There have actually been a few other very short-lived campaigns that haven't been uploaded. We played a couple of Hoy sessions, and we actually planned at one point to do a sort of longer Hoy campaign that would be, edited and uploaded the way I usually do. So as you might be aware, most of our games are generally open campaigns where, if you show up, you're welcome to join. And we had a guy who wanted to hop in. He ended up being a Hoy memer and sort of, killed the campaign. So, at that point, basically, we're just kind of done with Hoy, so none of that got uploaded. What you see here, this is the end of the Naples and Two Sicilies campaign of Mayo and Taxes that we wrapped up recently. We actually started another M&T EU4 campaign after this one, but I got behind in video editing, so none of it got uploaded. And by the time the second session was over, people had basically decided they wanted to start over with doing something a bit different. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment. But basically there have been, I guess, 3 or 4 different very short campaigns, very short-lived campaigns too, that haven't been edited or uploaded. They have been streamed, so you might have caught some of that. But I want to talk about streaming for just a minute. So as you might be aware, I stream to both YouTube and Twitch, so it's simultaneously through Restream. And unfortunately, YouTube has cut my streaming capabilities for the next 3 months. So if you want to watch one of the streams, then that's just not going to show up on YouTube. And the reason why is when I'm playing single player games, sometimes I like to stream them, and usually when I do that I'm just kind of hanging out and maybe talking to people, but also I'm listening to music. And YouTube has a policy where if you play a song that is globally blocked, then your streams get cut for 3 months. And most of the music that I listen to, there's no problem at all, because people that produce music are happy to monetize your videos, and I don't really care about that. So especially if I'm streaming, and I'll just play the music, and they'll get the money for it, and that's fine. It's just a few cents anyway. Anyway, I was listening to my favorite Italo disco station out of the Netherlands, and they happened to be playing a DJ set. And his set included a particular song by Robert Smith, which I guess was some hot new track. And they decided to globally block it. So now, because of that 1-minute segment of a song in an I don't know how many hours long stream, my streaming capabilities have been restricted on YouTube for the next 3 months. So if you want to watch anything that we're streaming for Filthy Casuals, either you can watch the video on YouTube once it's been edited, or if you want to see it live, that's going to be over on Twitch, and only on Twitch for the next 3 months. And if you've been wondering why I haven't been streaming anything to YouTube for the past few weeks, that would be why. If you are interested in watching the streams, I'll tell you what our stream schedule is, which is we play Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We typically play each night for approximately 5 hours. So Tuesday night, 8 p.m. is EU4 Mayo and Taxes. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, is CK2 HIP. And Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, currently we're playing Stellaris. Of course, if you're watching the stream, you're more than welcome to come and chat with us, and typically that gets included in the campaign. The other thing a lot of people don't realize is that our Filthy Casuals campaigns are open campaigns generally. So, anyone who shows up is welcome to join in. So if you happen to be available at one of these times, if you want to join in the M&T campaign or the CK2 campaign or the Stellaris campaign, assuming you're able to follow the very basic rules that we use, and assuming you aren't a complete asshole, then you're welcome to join us. So if you happen to be watching the stream and you're interested in joining, give you a Discord link or whatever, Actually, quite a few people have left messages on specific YouTube videos saying, hey, can I join? And yeah, absolutely. I send them a Discord link, and then they either hop in or, we can at least see if they want to join or not. And that's perfectly fine. But I want to throw that out there in case you're watching this. You say, hey, this looks like fun. People are welcome to join. So, we have had people come in the past who've just been complete assholes. People come in just like, hey, they join the voice chat and then scream into their mic. They get kicked out pretty quick, and they never get seen in the video because that's the sort of thing that gets edited out, obviously. But, assuming you're a reasonable human being, if you want to hop in, you're more than welcome to. Just want to throw that out there. Let's see what else. I think with the CK2 and the Solaris campaign, you got a pretty good idea of sort of the way things are progressing. The CK2 is obviously easier to hop into. Solaris, we're doing sort of random rolls in that. But I guess I should talk about what we're going to do in this next EU4 campaign. So in our very short-lived 2-session-long M&T campaign that didn't get edited or uploaded, some people selected and managed their nations according to the typical min-maxing approach, the typical competitive approach, which makes sense because we have a mix of competitive players and more casual players. I did not do that. I actually went completely the opposite direction. So what I did is I rolled for random nations, and then when I rolled for random nations, some other players also decided to roll for random nations, and basically what happened was a sort of a trend of people abandoning their present nations to roll for other random nations. And by the second session, it seemed like probably 2/3 of people had been rolling for nations, and everyone just kind of abandoned what they were doing in the first session. That's why I didn't really make for a compelling series or anything I wanted to edit and put on YouTube. But we were 2 sessions in. Essentially everyone had re-rolled their nations, and we also had a new version of M&T that just came out. I believe it's the official 2.51 final version, and along with that was a new version of my submod on top of M&T, and we decided that since virtually everyone had re-rolled their nation in the second session, why don't we just start a new campaign where everyone is forced to roll? So that's what we're going to do. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have a new M&T campaign where everyone is going to be random rolling and selecting their nations. Probably going to be like a roll 6, pick 1, or maybe a roll 8, pick 1. But the idea is, rather than people just going in and selecting the powerhouse nations like they normally do, they're going to get 8 rolls, probably going to be 7 shitty nations and 1 that's halfway reasonable. And you get to pick any of those nations you want, and that's what you continue with. So we'll be doing the roulette picks tomorrow, and then we'll be hopping in and continuing, and we'll see how it goes. I expect that'll be a fun campaign. In the campaign that didn't get edited or uploaded, my first roll was Brabant, and it was terrible. It was not a good start. I was next to min-maxing France that was basically going to eat me. But the second session I ended up re-rolling, and I ended up on Vijaya, and when I did that, everyone else re-rolled, so it was kind of weird. But you can get really lucky with your rolls, or you can get complete garbage. A lot of people get like OPMs and stuff that obviously they're not going to pick, but that's your choice. So do you want to try and take your OPM and rise to greatness, or do you want to take the more powerful nation and make an empire? It's up to you. And if you die, obviously you get to re-roll. So it's kind of a meme campaign, but really it's just about taking whatever shit situation you find yourself in and making the best of it, and making your own challenge out of it, I guess. So probably a wide distribution of players, but we'll see what happens. So that's going to be starting tomorrow, new campaign. And again, if you're interested in either watching or joining, that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern. Last thing I wanted to mention is, many of you are aware, my computer is an overheating potato, I guess a baked potato. And but recently I did perform a small upgrade, so my completely useless graphics card has been replaced by a slightly useful graphics card. Nothing fantastic, but a hell of a lot better than it was. So that means that my video quality, the settings that I use are a bit better than they have been. But also means that the rendering on the videos is faster. So what I've started doing lately, I've been streaming in 1080p. I've been recording Well, actually, the recording resolution hasn't changed, but previously I was scaling everything down to 720p, both for YouTube and for the stream. But now I'm streaming in 1080p, and I'm actually rendering sometimes in 1080p. Now the issue is, when I render in 1080p, that's if I'm going to edit a video and put it up on YouTube, it takes about 4 times as long to render it for 1080p as it does for 720p. Maybe like 3 or 4 times as long. So if I edit a video, it takes the same amount of time to edit it regardless. But if I render it in 720p, it renders pretty fast. If I render it in 1080p, then my computer is out of commission for about 3 to 4 hours. So what I've been doing lately is basically editing and then rendering in the background. So if I can keep up to date with the videos, then I'm going to be trying to upload everything in 1080p. But if I get behind and I have to compress things, then obviously compressing to 1080p is just going to be wasting a lot of computing time. So you know, if I can, I'll be uploading in 1080p from now on, but if I get behind for whatever reason, it's going to have to drop down to 720 again. I have noticed that the streams look quite a bit sharper. I think the YouTube videos themselves look a bit better, and even if you are watching in a lower resolution, it does seem to me like the videos look sharper just because of the way the footage is being rendered on my end. When I look at the videos, I can tell the difference. It's not huge, but it is noticeable. So hopefully that's you know, rendering time well spent, although it does take up quite a bit of time. So what I'm trying to do is basically render when I'm doing other things, or you know, edit the videos and then render it while I'm asleep and that sort of thing. So if I can keep up with it, then I'll be doing things in 1080p. Otherwise I'll have to drop it back down. But yeah, I think that covers everything I want to go over today. So thanks for watching and have a good one.